Well, a very good day to you, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of the Candy Talk here on Herman Manyora's YouTube channel. My name is Evan Sokinyi. I'm glad that you've joined us for our conversations. I'm here with Wakili Willis Otieno. Wakili, how are you?
Fine, thank you. Yes.
The long-awaited IEBC commissioners nominees has already been out here. And I want us to get into this conversation and maybe, first of all, tell me, what do you make of this list? Because I've seen a lot of mixed reactions from a number of Kenyans, and especially those leaders who are in the opposition side, led by Kalonzo Musyoka, saying, look, the names that we've seen here are people who are actually affiliated to the former Prime Minister and the current President, and therefore they are saying that this is not fair, according to them. When you saw those names...
the first thing we must say is this. In terms of IEBC, the selection panel did the people of Kenya a disservice. They should have made public the entire list of people they shortlisted and recommended for appointment. The 3 persons they recommended for chair,
Yes.
and the 7 persons they recommended for commissioners. So that we should be able to tell as a people who are the 3 commissioners who are dropped and who are the 2 proposed chair who are dropped. That is what transparency and accountability in Article 10 of our Constitution talks about. The selection panel was a public body, and they owe the Kenyan people a release of their full report to tell us the names they recommended, and then we'll be able to deduce who were dropped and ask ourselves why they were dropped. That's one. 2, one thing that we must say, where the Kenyan people are heading to, elections 2026, even if William Ruto appointed his own PA to become the chairman or a commissioner, they will lose. Because I told you the Kenyan people are going to take these elections in their own hands. And we've been here before. The Cherera 4 were appointed by the Handshake brothers. When the time came for elections, they couldn't deliver to that group. So Kenyans should not be worried that William Ruto's stooges are appointed.
Don't you see the situation a little bit different? Because you are talking about the Cherera 4, assuming that that was the case, and if that is the kind of trajectory that we would follow, then it would mean that the Cherera 4, the Handshake brothers here being Raila Odinga and the former President Uhuru Kenyatta, but then who was holding the shots here? The chair was...
But even if you look at Chebukati, Guli and the other one, Molu, they were appointed by Uhuru Kenyatta single-handedly. So that entire commission for the last election was an Uhuru Kenyatta commission.
Yes.
Then you added Cherera 4. So all of them were Uhuru Kenyatta's appointees.
So if it was...
And he had not consulted anybody when he was appointing them. What happened? They went against Uhuru Kenyatta's wish. So we should not pay too much attention. The election that we are going to have in this country is an election where the people will take control of their polling stations and their results. Everybody will be streaming to us live events as they occur in their respective polling station. The overwhelming turnout in that election will be one that no army and no IEBC commissioners will be able to stop. And we are going to put this commission, once constituted, to task. We are going to make sure that the minor KI case is adhered to the letter. Polling station results are final. There is no place for a national returning officer. It is constituted returning officers to make the announcements, do the tally, and to declare in their respective constituencies the votes. And every Kenyan will become a tallying officer, following from constituency to constituency what the tally is and who has met the threshold of the elections. And it will not be William Ruto. He is going to lose. The bombers process that they've been using to undermine the will of the people will not be there. And those are the things we are going to put this commission to account on. We are going to spend 13 billion shillings to set up a machinery for rigging, and the Kenyan people are keeping quiet.
Who is actually going to stop them if they decide to go that particular direction?
We will stop them. We have phones. The Kenyan people will stop them. This election, we are going to transmit it live as it is counted, as it is announced. By the time they will be going to Bomas, the winner of the elections will have given his acceptance speech. And the loser will be packing his bags from State House to hand over peacefully to the duly elected President of the Republic of Kenya.
Okay.
These are different times.
Last time we were actually having this conversation with you on the reconstitution of this particular commission, in as much as you were saying here that even if President William Ruto were to appoint his own personal assistant to that commission, then he would still lose, as in that would not actually affect the outcome of the results. But then we talked about public trust deficit, and this is something that has affected this commission all along.
We do not have, the commission is suffering from a deficiency, a trust deficiency. And even the manner in which the names have been processed, it shows you the lack of trust and shenanigans that have contributed to that lack of trust. Number one, look at the names that were shortlisted initially. Asanu was not there.
Yeah.
We don't know when he applied, but at least we are sure he was never shortlisted. He was interviewed amongst the 6 whose names were not there in the first shortlist. And now his name is there on the persons who've been appointed. Why is this President of the Commission being fast-tracked? That they have to circumvent. So those are the things that are contributing to the trust deficit in the Commission. That's why I blame the selection panel. They've contributed to it. But there's a cure to that trust deficit. The cure is in the hands of the people. The Kenyan people are going to take over the conduct of that election and process those results as envisaged in the Constitution in a transparent and accountable manner. Media will not wait for boomers to tell them what to transmit. The Kenyan people will tell them. That is the only way we deal with these Iebc shenanigans. Because we cannot trust legacy politicians to do anything in furtherance of the wish of the people. They will not. They do things in furtherance of their selfish interest. That is what legacy politics is about. But in this particular instance, the Kenyan people will be donating their sovereignty. And in donating their sovereignty, they'll be guided by their constitution, which provides for transparency and accountability. And if the legacy politicians think they are going to deploy the commission to undermine the donation of that sovereign right, tough luck. They will not succeed. We will be there, and the Kenyan people will be in those polling stations. They are the ones who will be conducting those elections.
Okay.
They are the ones who will count those votes. They are the ones who will share the return from the respective polling stations and constituencies. The force that the Kenyan people will bring into the election process will be an insurmountable force that no Iebc, including one who may be appointed by William Ruto, who is his PA, will surmount that force.
Now, talk to me this about the trust issues here that we are witnessing with, of course, the electoral body in this country. Several people have always kind of questioned the president's power to actually go ahead and appoint the referee at this point. Do you think we should actually have a total change when it comes to that? Because we do not actually understand why a player in an election would still go ahead and choose the referee.
You know, my main grouse with the appointment process is when we decide in our laws that the president is given an odd number of names and he picks. He's given 3 names and he picks 1 to be chair. What consideration did he take into account to pick this one and drop the other 2? In the case of Chebukati, the selection panel, after doing the interviews, out of 9 applicants, Chebukati was number 9. He was number last. The selection panel, in its wisdom, chose number 1 and number 2 and included number last, thinking that even if number 1 or number 2 is picked, it's still okay. Shock unto you. Uhuru Kenyatta picks number last, who was Chebukati, to be the chair. And you all saw what happened. He's bungled our elections over and over. And you ask yourself, what was it that informed the choice of the one who was number last in the interview? He was not number 6, he was number last, 9 out of 9. His name was just given as a name to escort the number 1 and number 2. Whichever of them picked will have been okay. He chose number last. So you must reasonably expect that at some point, Uhuru Kenyatta sat down with the number last and told him, you actually number last as per the selection panel. Why should I give you the job? What will I get in return? There was also trading. Same also with the commissioners. The best candidate in the list that was submitted was a gentleman from Mukambani called Mbidi. He was the best candidate of the commissioners. But he was not picked by Uhuru Kenyatta. That time, he picked other characters. And you saw what happened. So you give a player an opportunity to host trade.
Definitely.
With the commission. And my proposal has always been the best commission in our circumstances should be a political party-led commission, where I tell political parties to nominate partisans. They go and sit there as a referee, jointly. They watch over each other. Opposing political parties from the aisle. They select commissioners, and they all play the role of overseeing each other to make sure that they agree on a middle ground that can actualize a fair election. That's one. Or we just constitute independent bodies to come up with names. You can have JSC, you can have LSK, you can have ISPAC, you can have the religious groups. A small team that does the interviews, and whichever name they recommend becomes the commission. And the present role should be purely ceremonial.
So it's actually wrong to give the
it is. It
a chance
undermines.
To choose one.
Because you are giving a player an opportunity to host trade with the referee. And I am persuaded to believe that Uhuru Kenyatta might have hosted with Chebukati initially. Because there is no reason you can tell me if the selection panel, those who did the competence interviews, gave number one, number two, then chose number last, just to meet the quota, and being convinced that a choice of number one or number two will be okay. The person choosing selects number last. What informed that choice of number last? That was us trading.
Okay.
I'll scratch your back, you'll scratch mine.
If that could be true, then what then informs the kind of decision that Chebukati made in 2022? Because if at all we are supposed to believe that the commission can actually be compromised in a way, if he was appointed by the former President Uhuru Kenyatta, why did
at his appointment, he must have done what was agreed. And then when he became an institution, he was able to trade. But what they agreed at the time of appointment, he delivered on it. He was declaring Uhuru Kenyatta president in 2017 using fake forms. And the court caught him. Yeah, why was he doing that? Supreme Court petition number 1 of 2017. He was using fake forms to declare the results. The court caught him. Illegalities and irregularities. Why would he do that? If it was not part of scratch your back, I scratch my back. Come 2022, the person they had entered a deal with was leaving anyway. So I'm sure maybe he was now free to trade if he wanted.
Okay.
That is what will inform it, in my view.
Maybe the opposition is as well free to trade with the current ones, if at all
this election, we don't need any of trading. The voice of the people will determine the outcome of the election. And I've told you, ultimately, it is the people who conduct those elections. It's the people who vote. And it's the people who need to know their results. They will aggregate them. And the people will tell you who their winner is.
Because I was actually wondering, what can actually stop one from buying the bid of the appointing authority here? That has been, I wonder. But at the same time, talk to me about the kind of reaction that you saw from, of course, the Turkana area. For the chair, there has been a lot of questions around it. One, in the first place, he's served in the government of the former Turkana governor, Josephat Nanok, who is a close associate of President William Ruto, and at the same time serves in government. And people are like, what is really happening here? But look at how the people down there celebrated, how they reacted to that. While this is a commission that we actually know is a national commission that should be serving the interests of all Kenyans. Do you think that for some extent Kenyans have still not moved from what we call tribal issues when it comes to governance and all that?
You know, legacy politicians prefer when Kenyans caucus as tribes.
Yes.
And understand that this has been fed in the masses for the last 60 odd years. They've sold to you a tribal narrative that when your tribesman is on a chair, the whole tribe is full. When legacy politicians put you in that box, you are easily controllable. Can be easily controlled by them. That is what they know. And don't think that they've given up. They are still going to try to put Kenyans in tribal boxes. But we are beyond that now. The challenges the Kenyan people are facing knows no tribe. Go to Kalenjin land today. You will see the kind of things they are being taken through. The pain and suffering they are going through in the hands of legacy politicians. Then you find some characters, for example, in Luo Nyanza, shouting how now they have 2 CSS. They are now in government, they are happy. And look at the biting poverty and the pain, economic pain that people are going through in Luo Nyanza. So, with the advent of the new age and technology, we are able to tell and see the fallacy of what the legacy politicians have sold to the Kenyan people. Governance is not about tribe, it's about individuals. These are just tribal elites who use the numbers of tribe to manipulate. We don't need a tribesman anywhere. We need somebody who can offer competent leadership that gives the best results to the people. And at this particular point, we are in the third and final liberation, the economic liberation. We are seeking economic freedom and justice to the people of Kenya. Economy knows no tribe. Economy affects everybody. And any interventions on the economic front will impact on everybody, irrespective of their tribe. But legacy politicians will still want to take you back to where you were before. When you are agitating for political rights, then tribe was a factor. We want to see more of our tribesmen represented in elective offices or in appointed offices. We are not there anymore. We are now at a point where it's about the individual's self-actualization, economic freedom to everyone. That is where Kenyans are. And you'll be shocked even in Rift Valley, Kalenjin land. Many people will not vote for William Ruto. So many. Why? Because the issue in top of mind to everybody is the economy. It's not our mutuetu.
Okay.
We are no longer fighting for political freedom. In fighting for political freedom, it's easier to caucus people in tribal cocoons because you want to see representation of tribes. But in economic freedom, the economy is intangible. You cannot touch it.
Okay.
Its impact is felt across the board.
Okay.
And any intervention impacts everybody irrespective of their tribe. Any failures equally impacts everybody irrespective of their tribe. That is what we are going through. And the sooner legacy politicians realize that their time is up, the better for them.
For the commission here, do you view these positions as political appointments?
But they are political appointments. You saw the political Australian that was taking place. You can directly draw a line between a legacy politician to each of those nominees. Each of them, you can draw a line. They are political appointments. But I'm not worried. That does not concern me. What I'm caring about is the people of Kenya. They are the ones who are going to vote. And what energy they are going to take to that ballot. I do believe that energy, there is no army or any political formation that will stop that anger, that desire for change that is boiling in the hearts of the Kenyan people. So even the legacy politicians' attempt to undermine Iebc and its processes will not succeed. It will fail.
Going by the celebrations that rocked Turkana County following the naming of one of their owners, the potential chair of this particular commission, do you think that there are people down there who are actually going to vote for the appointing authority here in 2027 just because of that appointment alone?
I mean, if you go to Turkana today, you are going to find a school where kids are learning under a tree.
Yes.
You're going to find homes that people have to walk more than 5 kilometers to get water. You're going to find so many kids, Turkana kids, who slept hungry last night. you're going to find Turkana qualified graduates who can get any job in this economy. You're going to find people are at home, have not reported to school for lack of school fees. So give that person an opportunity to make a choice, top of mind, when they're going to vote. In the minds of a legacy politician, that person will vote because Aturukana is a chairman of Iebc. But in the modern age, the new world, that person is going to vote to find a solution to his immediate challenge. So anybody trying to show you even images of Turkanas celebrating, those are legacy politicians, surrogates. They're trying to still play the legacy politics of Mutuwetu has gotten. It is Mutuwetu. As if we're having tribal wars here, where one tribe goes to war with another tribe to get the better, to get ahead, to get an advantage over another tribe. It's not our problem. We're not having tribal wars here. We're having economic wars. Which economic wars knows no tribe? And that's why I say this is an election that the Kenyan people will be united against legacy politics.
The commission is here, and of course now we expect that, actually, do you expect the parliament to go ahead and give a nod to the president for these appointments?
I don't expect parliament, based on its track record, to say anything contrary to what Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga have said. I mean, what William Ruto and Raila Odinga have said. Parliament is as those are stooges. They have no spine. They cannot even conduct basic. And they should do it quickly so that we get it over and done with. We have by-elections to run. We have boundaries to review. So Parliament should not waste even time at pretending to be doing public vetting.
Okay.
They should just proceed to approve even in one sitting.
Finally, what is that big, that main factor that makes you believe that no matter who occupies that position, then the coming elections are beyond rigging, that nothing can happen whatsoever that would compromise?
I get my comfort from my interactions with the people of Kenya, both physically and online. In my public engagements with the people of Kenya, there's only one desire that I notice in them. Kenyans are fighting for a new republic that is about the common good, not about legacy politics. That is where I get my comfort and confidence from. That on this one, the Kenyan people are now the wiser. They are going to reject legacy politics. And that structure put up by the legacy politicians to undermine their sovereignty will not succeed. The people are more than the legacy politicians. And the people are now more aware. They will not allow themselves to be manipulated by legacy politicians. The things they used to do to the Kenyan people before will not amount to anything in the coming days. Well,
ladies and gentlemen, there has been a conversation here on the Candid Talk, Kenya's most comprehensive political and public governance analysis show, with yours truly, Evans Okinyi here. Weigh in and tell us what you actually think regarding the nominees of the president who are supposed to be filling the vacant positions of the Iebc commissioners and the chair. Allow me to stop for now till we have this conversation again. Have yourself a lovely day. My name is Evans Okinyi.